Thank you very much. Yesterday, I was flabbergasted. I went with optimism, feeling that all the efforts that are put on, all the discussions that were taking place, and the efforts done at different levels, yesterday would be just to subject the bill for discussion, and then it will be thrown out. But it is indeed a disappointing scenario. What I observe personally from an activist point of view, I realized that there was a lot of behind-the-scene discussions. We were all lobbying, talking to the various National Assembly members, and before then, we have been doing that. Now, coming yesterday, I came with real optimism, thinking that they would have done their homework, they would have clarified the issues, the arguments that were brought in by the presenter of the private members' bill, because the two arguments they are talking about is one, religious is our religion, and that it is a hadith that has prescribed it. That is one. Number two, that is our culture and our tradition. And I thought they would have gone to look at least do some more research. Looking at it from the religious point of view, I think everybody who reads the Quran and those that are knowledgeable and are ready to engage know that female genital mutilation is not part of our religion. Female genital mutilation preceded all monotheistic religions. It was there before the time of the prophets, and when the prophet came, he found it there. And all the explanations that were being referred to regarding the hadith are considered weak. I thought they would have looked at that. Number two, they were talking about culture. But indeed, we all respect our culture, that the activists, the women's rights and children's rights advocates who are coming out wanting to uphold the law, it's not that they are fighting the culture. Those who are stopping FGM, it's not because they are fighting the culture, because they are empowered with the right information, because they know it violates the rights of the girl child, and because there is evidence showing from a health point of view, from a religious point of view, from all aspects of it, that FGM is harming our women and girls, and therefore there is need to be a law. Now, this law was not brought in overnight. It was not forced on the people, and it was not Gamco Trap who actually promulgated the law. We were parties to it because we are advocates. We were fighting for it in the communities we have created, and the communities were calling for it, and it facilitated the process. But what I saw yesterday, thinking that the National Assembly members, most of who are so young, I thought there was going to be something, it was going to be thrown, the amendment bill that they are proposing, or the upholding of the bill that they are proposing would have taken precedence. But it was subjected to a debate, and the arguments that were given by the presenter of the bill in itself, or the person who brought in the private members' bill, harping on religion, is a serious knowledge gap among our National Assembly members. Because they cannot tell us that FGM Islam is Islam. They have the Quran. A lot of things that they are doing, they try to bring it from the point of view of religion, but they defend it and then make sure that they get what they want. Is it because it is a gender-specific issue that they are now leaning on religion, when there is nowhere in the Quran, nowhere in any Bible that they say a woman should be circumcised? So why is it? It's about misogyny. There is hatred for women and no respect for women, and playing on the fact that they outnumber women in the National Assembly. Because you have 58 National Assembly members, 5 of whom are women. All the others, all the 5 women, only one was there to represent the women. The others were all part of the process, because they were behind those that are pushing for the repealing of the law. So it is a very disappointing scenario, asking me my opinion. And not only that, the lack of knowledge and education, the lack of engagement as lawmakers. When we say these are our lawmakers, these are the people who are going to drive the development of the country. These are the people who are going to be there to safeguard the interests of the Gambia towards progress. If they are speaking like this, my heart bleeds. Seriously, my heart is bleeding. And I felt that we are failing our nation. I urge every person who knows what you are doing, and the educated people out there, because we have always been alienated, and we always alienate ourselves. We're saying that let's leave it to the hands of those people, who. It's not that. You are talking about laws. You are talking about policies. You are talking about economic analysis and all the other analysis that are around. You're talking about policies that are supposed to move the country and put it in the community of nations at par with progress. So how are we going to bring people who will stand there even to pronounce the right words is a difficulty. This is what I observed. And then finally, the way the conducting was conducted, you can see it's a male-dominated National Assembly. So men were having their free will over women. It was not the women who were speaking. They were speaking for themselves, not because it's the women who are talking to them, because we are a grassroots organization. We have been working with the grassroots. We've done extensive work in the grassroots, and we have evidence to show that all the 7 public declarations ceremonies that were done, that is public declaration to abandon FGM, were done in the midst of the country and in different regions, attended by the chiefs, attended by the international community, attended by our government officials who officiated there. Cannot tell you that the people have not changed. Change has occurred, but they are politicizing women's bodies, making it an arena for contestation and playing on the ignorance of women. Because we know that not everybody will get the information immediately. But the fact that there is a law is there to protect the rights of people. Now, why is it that this specific law is being brought to the arena? Because you are preparing for 2026 elections to tell the women that I have protected you. The National Assembly members are supposed to be the touchlight of their people. Now, being the touchlight of their people, they should be able to stand up and tell their people, well, this law that is being placed is to protect the girl child. And this was already a very popular law that was called for by the people. But now they are trying to politicize it, to go back to their constituencies and play with some of the women who do not have access to information, to actually think that they will get their votes. It's going to be a completely different dynamic. They have repealed. If they repeal this law, their seats will be repealed in 2026. I can assure you that, because just like they are going to do, how can you stop? There is so much money spent over the years. Government have been supported. NGOs have been supported. Institutions, research institutions have been supported. There is a lot of collaborative work that was done around this issue. Now, for it now to come again for another consultation by the committees going out, who is going to fund that? It's better to fund the women's rights organizations, the youth organizations, to go out with the right frame of mind, to educate, to support and continue the work. Gamco Trap is here to support, to lend its hand as the leading organization, helping to build the awareness, helping to strengthen the capacity, and helping to lead the process and help reach out to the country, because we have our constituency. Over the years, we have built a lot of community structures that are sustainable and who know about this, and they have reached. So the voices of those, what they are saying at National Assembly does not reflect the voices of women, because it's the men who are speaking. Yes, they were voted in by women, that is very clear, and that is the reason why they should have come out clearly to protect the young girls and women from this practice and to uphold the law, and subjecting this law using political Islam, because what I am seeing is political Islam. It's not Islam itself, because associating with Islam, the evidences are there. Even before the 2 or 3 days before the second hearing, there was a conference on Islam and FGM, and we all saw what happened there. Now, for people coming so ignorant, it is shocking. Honestly, I am saying this, I am disappointed, not because of anything, but because of the high rate of illiteracy that is existing over there, that we need to address. And if people are trying to avoid that, people with agendas can come and influence some of our lawmakers and make the Gambia an unbearable place, not in the name of women, but in the name of political Islam and religious fundamentalism. Indeed, this is a serious thing for the Gambian population and the government of Gambia. The Gambia has joined the community of nations to ratify a lot of conventions. The CEDAW, the Convention on All Forms of Discrimination Against Women and Girls. You have the Maputo Protocol. You have the ICPD Plan of Action, and many other protocols and conventions that promote and protect the rights of women and girls. If Gambia, having made that gain and is proud of showcasing that, and even creating a Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Welfare to take the concerns of women to higher heights, with all those in place, we now begin to see that all those bills, all those things that are there are rolling back, because the law came as a result of the recommendation of the Maputo Protocol, the CEDAW, Article 5, and so many other sections that are calling for making a law and protecting girls from harmful traditional practices such as early marriage, female genital mutilation, and so many other things. You understand? And this law is under that purview. If they do this, it means we are actually pushing back, rolling out all those things and standing bare. Because if this one is repealed, it means all other rights of women will be repealed, because I have heard from the grapevines and from people saying that the next bill they are going to pursue is the early marriage bill. And now, after the early marriage bill, they will now pursue the fact that women should not be in the public spaces, and women should not be engaged in taking leadership positions, and so on and so on, or even their voices should not be heard. They should be seen in there is only their faces that should be seen, if not even not seen, because I have seen the emergence of the type of dress code that we are wearing that is also putting Gambia in a particular type of frame, which is not acceptable. Now, this law is not about politics, it's not about religion. The law is about the state taking its obligations and putting into place what it has signed to ensure that there is what we call substantive equality, where women can come out and fall back on when their rights are being abused. The law has been in existence since 2015. Now, the law was not applied. When we went out to look at what is happening, we were not out to hunt people. We were out to monitor whether FGM is going on or not. And Gamco Trap decided to send the regional coordinators, that is their work, the community-based facilitators. That's why we train them. If they come across a law like this and the due process was applied, what is the crime and what is the process? Why should this raise a big plethora of comments, insults, and all sorts of consultations that are not necessary? Yeah, what is the problem? The problem, from my own analysis, is that there is an emerging patriarchal strategy of trying to silence women and to try to control women's bodies, their sexual and reproductive health rights, and all other rights that this bill inside is talking about. So where do we go? What is happening? So there is, of course, it's not putting Gambia in a good light. Talking in the name of democracy, that yes, it's everybody's democratic right to exercise, to talk about culture, to belong to your culture. But any culture that debases the humanity of an individual needs to be visited. And we have seen many examples of changes that are taking place. Culture is not static, it's on a continuum. It can change, and it is changing, and people are changing for the better. But the changes we are seeing for women regarding this bill is retrogressive. It is very unfair, and I think the state should take its responsibility. It has to be accountable to the women. It's not only giving us formal equality and then taking it with the other hand, saying that let's take it for public debate. There are so many bills that should have been brought in for public debate. A lot of things went. Because it doesn't, the women's bill is a gender-specific issue. It is being brought to the bill. What about some of the laws that they brought in for all the benefits that should come to people, position holders? Was it subjected to a discussion like we did to the women's bill? It is wrong. I think it is unfair, and the world should be very conscious of the trends that the Gambia is taking. The way we are going is not progressive for women so far, and if this is what is going to happen, I think women should try as much as possible to join in advocating to have more women. It's not only women, but women who are fit to be there, and men. We cannot do it alone. We need the men with us. We need men who are committed, who are ready to work with us and also support us, because we share a common history. We are part of the ecosystem, and that ecosystem has to be balanced. It has to be fair, it has to be just, and gender justice should prevail. This is what I have to say about this question. But if you look at it, the amount of bills that have been signed by the Gambia is so impressive. But why are we now taking a back turn? The only explanation are two. One, misogyny. Two, the emergence of Islamic fundamentalism, extremism, and also abusing Islam or our religion to keep us behind the scenes. That's all. Religious extremism and fundamentalism. That's it, and hatred for women. This is what is happening. This is where I put it. And women have been very critical and important in trying to support governance to move the country towards the right direction. If we are in a situation like this, where there is complete deafening silence of the state on this matter, we need to face, and we have to face it and deal with it professionally, ethically, for us to for proper accountability, good governance. Because FGC, FGM are all words that are mutilating women. And the word female genital mutilation came as a result of the fact of the establishment by medical doctors, scientific expertise on the extent to which the mutilation is affecting women. And let me tell you one thing, that goes to the realm of knowledge. You see, when people don't have knowledge, they try to be to trivialize mass issues, especially when this has a gender. This is about gender construction of female sexuality. It's about construction of female sexuality. Now, men are circumcised, but women are mutilated, because the organ that is removed from the woman is a healthy organ, an organ that is part of her femininity, an organ that makes her the female, and an organ that she needs for her reproductive activities or for her pleasure. So that organ, when removed, is mutilation. And if we go into medical praxis, what is it? Is it right to cut any healthy organ? Is it right to inflict pain on any healthy organ? This has been very clearly put in. Now, there is a scientific evidence, a body of knowledge that has brought us to the point where we are. So all what they are saying is to trivialize women's bodies and politicize it to say it is circumcision. Even with circumcision, it is mutilation. Whether you say it was FGC or FGM. These are things that I want to make clear. And it's so disrespectful of those people. You said you are religious scholars. You said you are National Assembly members. You are going to stand in Parliament talking like this without any substantive talk, but you are just fed. You see, what is happening in the Gambian Parliament, we have to talk about it, and we have to educate the people out there that the type of people that they select to come and talk about the laws that bring in prospects in our country and for us in our various places, because not everybody will be there. They have to be very careful how they select them. You understand? Because people talking with confidence in this shows the amount of mediocrity. The amount of mediocrity in that house, to the point that they are even insulting people like us, Gamco Trap. They are calling on the network of gender-based violence. They are even calling personalities, insulting them, the women's rights organizations, and so on and so on. Why should you do that when these people are only trying to promote progressive development for their country and for their constituencies? You are insulting them. And you, the National Assembly member, who have not done any research, who have not done any study, who is just talking out of populism. You've been given the privilege to represent the people, and there you are standing to kill them. Is this progressive? Is this what the Gambia wants? Is this how we should move? Is this the type of leadership, the type of governance that we want in this country? If this is the case, then Gambia is doomed. Gambia is doomed. The issue of semantics should not be even brought into this thing, talking about FGC, FGM. It's the act of cutting the genitalia and crafting it into ways that you can never understand should be the concern of people who are concerned about their people, their population, and about humanity. It is not about whether it is FGC or FGM, whether it is called Nyaka or Baramboyo or Ulakonota or Sukere Endam and so on. It's not about that. It is all about, every language knows how to call it. But this is scientific knowledge that nobody can debunk. And now they are also blaming the international community. They are surviving because of the international community. All their policies and all the discussions that are being done in the National Assembly, if funds were not provided, do you think they will be able to survive it? Do you think all the technical assistance, all the support that is being in. The world is a global village, and we must all be in contact. You see, the arguments they are bringing is showing gross ignorance. Honestly, mediocrity in the highest order. This has to change. And I urge both men and women and people who care about this country to come out, or else the Gambia is in a serious and dire situation that is not going to tell well. We cannot. I am ashamed, because there is what had happened today about towards the 50%, and now the argument is, yes, we are speaking, we are representing our people. Those people need to be enlightened, and we have been doing that. We've been working. You should be the touch to bring that enlightenment. But then the touch that is supposed to bring the enlightenment is in itself not enlightened. How can you bring enlightenment to those people who brought you? So from the frying pan to the fire. This is what is happening. And we have to be frank and bold enough to talk truth to each other. I don't mind whoever wants, you can insult me. This is what we are here to do, and we will continue to do it, and nothing is going to stop it. And we will make sure that the international community, people who matter, and people within the country, to please support the work that organizations are doing towards educating the women and people, men in the country, to end FGM. This effort to say we are going to subject it to consultation in the communities. Well, if the government is ready to fund it, let them fund it. But they said we are taking money from you. But God knows that what money we take is towards progress for the country. And the Gambia government is also taking money from you. So why is it that they are now talking about issues that touch on women that we are giving money? All this mobilization that we did, Gamco Trap, so far did not receive anything. We are hoping to receive money, but it's all out of our ingeniousness, our commitment and conviction, and appealing to the people to come together. Until then, we are owing funds to people, but we succeeded in coming. And the pride that we have today is to have seen people come out in their numbers, the young people particularly, women, and all concerned citizens to come and see and support the upholding of the law. That is something that is pleasing. And we will continue to do the work. We have not completed the whole country. We will continue to do. But let us not politicize women's rights. Let political Islam not dominate the country, and let religious fundamentalism not enter in our domain. Is going to be detrimental to the Gambia and whatever we plan.